want to know that this is on. All right, a little more gain for the stage one, please. Hi. Everybody. Howdy. What? There we go. That's good.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, you are all here to hear the one, the only.
No, of course not, ladies and gentlemen.
Jim Cummings. A letter from Jim So this is a straightforward question and answer. All those questions you've always wanted to ask. Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Darkwing Duck, Summy Gummy. What we're going to do is we're going to, like I said, no more than 5 people up front here. We'll ask the questions and we'll get through as many as we can in the time that we have. So, let's get started.
Well, there you go. Hello.
Come on down. You're the next contestant,
A lot of people know you for your Disney work, and you've done wonderful work with Disney, particularly like Don't Carnage and Drawing the Black Darkwing Duck. But my favorite role of yours, as I mentioned yesterday, is a non-Disney character, Dr. Robotnik. And I was just wondering if I could hear a little bit of Dr. Robotnik.
Yes, you can.
But you're going to have to buy a lot of DVDs or something.
No, I'm just kidding. Actually, yeah, that was a fun one. He, let's see, what Skivney. Oh, did you get prisoners? Oh, prisoners are good. I don't want to have him read your bedtime story. I'm glad you know. Thanks. Excellent.
Let's do the questions over here that way everyone can see. So.
Hi, should I say my name?
Sure.
Oh, my name is Lance Rudd, and I'm
Which one? What's your name?
Lance Rudd, and I've been a huge fan of like Winnie the Pooh since I was a kid. And I was wondering, what's your favorite of the Winnie the Pooh movies you've done the voice for?
Well, the last one, Winnie the Pooh, I think it was the best thing we ever did. But they put it out on the same day as the last Harry Potter, which was stupid. So, the movie was still great. I loved it. I thought the music was great. The story was really good. I had a great time. And they returned to that classic, unbelievably beautiful animation. You know, traditional animation. And you know, I mean, I always said that, you know, that's a movie you could enjoy with the sound down or the picture off. You know, and but don't do it. Get a phone. And I just, excuse me, I just thought that was a good one. I loved it. So I hope you did too. Yeah, good. Keep up the good work.
Hi, I'm Hondo from Clone Wars and Don Carnage. Separated at birth?
They what? Oh yeah. Well, they're both pirates. That's for sure. Well, let's see. One is space and one is air. So they have to be somehow cousins. I don't know, but it would be tough. I can't imagine seeing their parents. Yeah, I think they both had a lot of fun. They you know, I always said that bad guys, they kind of have a lot of fun. You know, I mean, good guys. I mean, if you're really like too goody two shoes, you can only have just so much fun. But if you got a little spice in there, a little vinegar or whatever you want to call it, yeah, it works out. I had a good time doing both of them. You know. You know, Don Carnage, I always said was like the only Monty Python character ever to come out of a Disney. Because to me, that's how he ended up. I don't even remember what the original specs were on him, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't it. You know, it ended up being a variant from that. And Hondo, you know, those are two of my favorite guys anyway. And Hondo, I just thought he was great. You know, and they let me sort of ad-lib the heck out of both of them, which is always fun. And
He is a Hondo, just hand over the city up and nobody get hurt. Skywalker. Beware, there are Jedi in the building. I know this. Be careful. Of course, you probably like them. Go on.
no, I'm kidding. Thanks. Thank
The question that I want to ask is that I was wondering if you have ever lost a role or production had to be halted because you either strained your voice on the job or because you were sick in a way that caused you to lose your voice.
Geez, I don't know. I remember, like, when I had just, I wasn't in the business very long when they were casting Simpsons, but I was sick as a dog. And, I mean, they were already kind of cast anyway, but there were a few of the other ancillary characters, and I was just literally, like, in bed. So, I was in one Simpson as a horse, so I don't know if that qualifies. I guess it's in that neck of the woods, being just too sick to get out of bed. And every now and then, I can tell you this, every now and then, so when I get a cold or an allergy, like, it's that time of year for, especially in California, allergies can affect the pipes, and I've just not really turned down a role, but like for some reason, whenever I get sick or I have a cough or a sore throat or what have you, Winnie the Pooh's the first one to go, because he lives right in between my regular voice is and then the falsetto. He's right there in the middle, and when that soda goes away, so does Boo. I am Winnie the Pooh. It's just not the same. And I'm sure you agree. So yeah, you gotta watch the pipes, Absolutely. Yes, come on over here. Get a cricket on our necks. So yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I wanted to thank you first for being such a great part of my childhood.
Okay.
All of your voices are you're just such an iconic voice, so thank you for that.
Well, you are very welcome.
And
Thanks for letting me.
And my question is, if you could play any character you haven't had a chance to play yet, who would it be?
Oh gosh. Gosh, I don't even think of it like that. I don't know. I've been very fortunate and lucky, and I don't know, because that sounds like there's I'd have to throw in some envy in there, and I probably don't have a lot of that. So I'm a pretty happy guy. But if something comes up and I don't, I've been very fortunate. I really wanted to be King Louie for Disney, and I was. So it's tough to be disappointed. And then also, actually, Ray from Princess and the Frog, I really, really, really wanted that one. And I lucked out and I got in there too. And it was, so I don't know. Although, I can't believe I didn't get to be like a little pony, My Little Pony. I'm okay with that. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Gabby.
Oh, how are things in Guacamole? I heard they're really good.
I'm actually from the Lorax today.
Well, of course you are. I don't know.
You've kind of been a part of my childhood since I could talk. I've been watching it. But my favorite cartoon that you've been in was Darkwing Duck. And I was wondering, could you just say, "Let's get dangerous"?
No, I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. Why would I say that? Because I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the bug that splatters across the windshield of crime. I am Darkwing Duck. So, get dangerous.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Toshi. So,
Hi, Toshi.
like the other girls said, you totally influenced my childhood a lot. What does it feel like knowing that you play such comforting characters, but then when you play a really violent, angry one, is there guilt or conflict within it when you're doing that?
Well, I have a theory, and I'm sure that this will bear out in time. No, it won't. But I could do 5 bad guys. Oh, thanks. That sounds better. And then just do one Winnie the Pooh, and then I even out. It evens out. 1 Pooh equals 5 bad guys. So I think I got like 2 or 3 more bad guys to go before I feel really guilty. You know, so you know, I think I'm so far so good. I don't know.
Terrifying.
Yeah, I don't want to be too terrifying. There was a show. I don't do a lot of video games, but I did this one called Terror Mask in Splatterhouse. And well, see, like he was 5 bad guys, just him. So I had to like go back to poo really quick to even it out, and then I could go back to being a jerk again. You know, my karma's been balanced. Oh, thank you.
Hi,
I'll
Jim.
let you turn down a little bit. Oh, he's not there. I'll just be back. Okay, no problem.
Hi,
Hello.
The question I have for you would be have you ever had something, like you're working on a character voice, and through some sort of happy happenstance, came upon something else, you go, oh, I gotta remember to do that for something, or, you know, you get somewhere with an impression that you're trying to pull and it gets awry?
Yeah, and then like use it elsewhere or something like that?
I mean, the reason why I asked that is because I was trying to master Pee-wee Herman's laugh, and I didn't get there, and I slipped into Kermit the Frog. So,
you ended up with like Ed Grimley or something.
Yeah,
You didn't quite make it all the way to Pee-wee. Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, I've always said, you know, said this like forever, that if you're trying to like do a really, like say an impression of, I don't know, just some vague person. Like a friend of mine does these weird impressions of like Nicolas Cage and Johnny Depp, and boy, you really need to have a strong visual for that, because it's like, you know, the Nicolas Cage impression is all, you know, and I'm going, it's a little iffy there, but if you do a bad impression, it's a new character. So, you know, like, and if you do a perfect impression of someone that nobody knows, it's a new character. You know, my Uncle Sam and Aunt Grace got rest both their souls. They've been in a lot of cartoons. And my cousins get a kick out of it. I say, oh, by the way, your dad's going to be an ogre on you know, fill in the blank, some Tinkerbell, the fairy or whatever.
You know, my Uncle Sam, you know, he used to talk just like this. It sounded like somebody dragging a rake over gravel or something, you know.
And it sounds just like him, but nobody knows Uncle Sam. So he's an ogre as far as you all are concerned. You know,
And then my Aunt Grace, she just, you know, every time I get in a role, sort of like the brain dead.
like a boxer or something, been hit a few times. Bless her heart, it's Aunt Grace coming out of there, because that's just how she sounded to me. Probably, it was a pretty good impression of her, not dead on, but just don't tell anybody. And then if you do a perfect impression, well, you're okay. You know, then you can use it for that. But all the other stuff, you know, just mix and match. And when it comes to things like that, you know, there's a way, sort of, a few little tricks that you can use to create different characters. And again, it's, you know, the voice is fine and everything, but it's really secondary to the character. Because I always say we're character actors who just have interesting voices. We're not just voice actors, because, I mean, you know, golly, I mean, people come up to you all the time and go,
You know, people tell me that I have a really good voice.
and I think, well, of course they do. You know, but you're never going to use that one unless you want to be a DJ, because it sounds like you're
Try to have a really good voice.
And, you know, and that's great. And, you know, probably for like movie trailers or perhaps promos or something like that. But as far as the rest of it, you're a character actor, you know. And if you mix and match, like put John Wayne together with Katharine Hepburn, it probably isn't going to be pretty, but it will be different. And so you can hold on to that and use it. So if that failed, well, and you know, you know, further your question, to answer your question, you know, every now and then you'll gosh, I can't think of an example, but a couple of different things that I've gotten over the years. I was auditioning for one character, and you know, they thought, wow, geez, oh boy, you really suck as that character. You're so not going to be him. But that's perfect for fill in the blank, Marshall Joe or whoever, you know. So you end up getting cast in, I'm the other, okay, I'll be the other guy. You know, so, you know, if you can mix and match like that, that's a winner too, you know. So just save it, and if you like it, I can tell you this, there's a friend of mine named Richard Hernopoulos, who, it goes back to my old, if you do an impression of somebody that nobody knows, and I remember meeting him years ago, and he was from Oklahoma, and he was one of those situations where you're just about ready to laugh, and you're trying to contain yourself, and you don't want to laugh, and you're trying to get it out. Well, Richard sounds like that all the time. That's just how he talks. And I've tried to get him in a million shows, but he has never been in one, but he's coming. So just hold on to those weird little characters, and they'll pop up somewhere. You know, Grammy Man #3, or the postman, here's your mail. You know, then Richard gets a gig. So I'm not sure if I answered your question. I think I did. I hope so. Thanks.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Raven, and you inspired me to be a voice actor. I'd done a few for like Flash and whatnot, but I have a really odd question for you. Probably don't hear a lot, but if they were to ever do a proper reboot of the Army Men games, would you come back and reprise your role as Sergeant Hogg?
The Army Men? Oh, the Army Men? Oh gosh, that's a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, I was all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was everyone, I think, except for the women. That was Sue Blue. Yeah, I remember that. That was a lot of fun, you know, trying to differentiate them. And I you know, I'm not a big gamer. I think I played it or run around with it like 2 or 3 times, just out of curiosity. And it's a pretty cool one, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's still around there, obviously. Yeah, well, that's good. Well, buy more of them. Actually, I don't get a penny, but what the hell? No, the answer is sure. Absolutely. You know, people say, would you ever do that again? It's like, oh, come on. Yeah, absolutely. I'll put those boots back on, man. See you there. Drop and give me 20. Just do it. Hello.
Hello. It's awesome to meet you, having heard you on so many TV shows. Would you be able to sing the Tigger song, please?
I would be. Do you have any other questions? Oh, the wonderful thing about tigers is tigers are wonderful things. Their tops are made of rubber, their bottoms are made of springs. They're flumpty, 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 fun, 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 fun. Oh, but the most wonderful thing about tigers is I'm the only one. I am the only one.
Hi, my name is Andrew Hager.
Andrew Hager, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Where have you been? We've been waiting for you.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
You never get here.
Anyway, as someone who's willing to get into voice acting as a career as well, I've been inspired by a lot of your characters in Darkwing Duck, and let me just say, my #1 favorite villain of all was Negaduck, and I was wondering if I could hear a little bit of him.
Oh, well, yeah, well, Negaduck, you know, we didn't know what exactly to do with him, and because he's like the exact opposite of Darkwing, and so they were trying to think, well, do you go a completely different way? And, you know, Ted Stones, I always say that he's Darkwing's dad, you know, he the creator of Darkwing, and then Ginny McSwain was the vocal director of that show, and now she's his mom. And we all kind of put our heads together and decided that, you know, Darkwing was here, and it was sort of, it's tough to describe. It's a combination of a very cartoony, but not overly cartoony, but a regular, normal person's voice, because that's kind of where they wanted Darkwing to land. They didn't want it to be, you know, it was flat and run or goofy, totally goofy, because you have to take him seriously every now and then. And so they were like, wow, Negaduck, he's like the exact opposite. So we just reasoned that you know, Darkwing was more or less, he was a higher voiced character, although he would get down there, oh no, you know, oh no. And
we thought, well, why not let Zenkaikon just get right down there? And he's basically Darkwing on steroids. Yeah, get the duck out of here. You know, and he's just, because he is, you know, like a mirror image of Darkwing, kind of had to make him sound like it a little bit. It's like they were, is he your evil twin?
Why, yes.
Why, yes. So it's kind of in there. Yeah, well, make sure he doesn't turn into Taz. But other than that, yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed hating him or something. Whatever you do with the bad guys. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Lee.
Someone's having a good hair day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of your shows, like on Disney and all those things. But like my probably favorite show when I was a kid was the Powerpuff Girls, who you were like Fuzzy Lumpkins on. Could you do an impression of that?
No, I can't do an impression, but I can do it.
Yes.
But you'll have to get off of my property. This place is mine.
There you go. He's not a genius. Hello.
Hi, my name is Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
I was curious to know, what is the weirdest thing that a fan has ever said to you or around you?
That. Jeez. Wow. I don't know. That's a pretty good one. What's the weirdest thing this fans ever said to me or around me? Well, so I don't know if it's weird, but it's kind of cute. I had a little boy come up many moons ago, and he'd say, "Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me." Yeah. My mom said that you do the noise of Winnie the Pooh. Would you do the noise of Winnie the Pooh? I said, the noise? He said, yeah, the noise. He needs the voice. I don't think you heard me right. Oh, okay. Because I can do the noise too. I'm not sure what that was, but I'm pretty sure I can get a poo noise. It just keeps getting better, doesn't it? Yeah, so I mean, that probably was cute, more cute than weird, but anyway, I do the noise of Winnie the Pooh too. So, although, gosh, you reminded me of something. I did do the noise. There was, I think it was Search for Christopher Robin. They were the noise of Winnie the Pooh. There was a rumbly in his tummy. Sometime, like in the last movie, that I think it was Bobby Lopez, because he wanted to sneak in and be a wise guy. He stuck in. He did the voice for the stomach. But here's how we did this. We did the stomach growl that Pooh mistook for. Everybody mistook because Pooh was in an echo chamber or something. Anyway, but here's how we recorded it. It was a really strong, a different cardioid mic, and they were just picking up my stomach rumbles. So that was a weird one. Although it wasn't a question, but I think I almost answered that. Thanks, Brittany.
Awesome. Unlike other people here, you have kept my adulthood fun and friendly.
Wait, I'm sorry, say it again?
Unlike many of the other people here, you have kept my adulthood fun and friendly.
Good.
Have your impressions ever gotten you into trouble in school or when you were growing up at all?
Always. Always. Yeah, Sister Brendan loved when I did my impression of her. She loved it. Oh, that was a part of this body. I can't believe, because, one bad thing about, I went to Catholic school over in Youngstown, Ohio, and my mom, God rest her soul, she is an actual saint now, but at the time, you would have thought she was Saint Sally, and the thing is, a lot of those nuts, they're like, bless their hearts, they're 147 years old, and they taught your mom, your grandma, so they knew that my mom was this great little girl, looked like Shirley Temple, and she was a little, I'm so cute. And then along comes me. The voices definitely got me in trouble because I was doing an impression of Sister Mary Brendan, and she was from Ireland, and she had her rosary beads. She used
kind of a martial arts motif, and you could hear them, you know, swaying as she would walk down the hall, and I was regaling my friends of one of her favorite speeches about me. My mom's maiden name was Welsh, and she would say, "I can't believe it, your poor mother. Won't it be me who'll be saying a novena from the soul in repose your mother's soul? I can't believe this sweet little Sally Welsh would grow up and give birth to the Antichrist." And I was sitting there telling all my friends, because it was so funny, that she was standing right behind me. And then, yeah, come to find out I was in trouble. Some nuns just didn't have sense of humor. And then, you know, we don't have dolphins here at St. Columba Grade School, Mr. Cummings. You'll have to go to the principal's office. So I did. And I learned more in the hallway. It worked. Joke's on them now. They love it now. You know, it's like, you know, put a wing on the chapel or something like that. But it worked out. Yeah, I always say that, you know, monkey hour just turned into my career. So don't tell anyone. You know, thank you. Yeah. All right. Hello, Scarlett. No, you're probably not Scarlett. Who are you? You're probably some really famous. Belle. Belle. See? Wow, I was ready for an anime character. Now I'm chagrined. Okay, I'm back. Hi, Belle.
Hello.
But what is your secret identity?
Melissa.
Ah, I might have known. Hi, Melissa.
Hello.
Some more.
Hello. I was wondering if you had any funny stories that happened in the recording studio that you'd be willing to share with us.
Which ones?
Any funny story that happened in the recording studio that you would share with us.
In the what? I'm sorry.
Recording studio.
Oh, recording studios. Oh my gosh. We're going to be here a while. Yes, I do. Wow. Woohoo! I don't know. Where would I start even? Gosh. You know, there's just a ton of them. Well, once we were at Hanna-Barbera and an earthquake hit. And that was kind of fun. And they have everybody sitting around in sort of like a horseshoe style thing and on the boom mics. And, you know, they were all like, it was kind of like this, you know, the mics out there, the boom's kind of over here, and it suspends so that it's, you know, you're not going to accidentally hit it or whatever. And, oh God, I'm trying to think of who was there. You know who was there? It was Henry Winkler, the Fonz, and, gosh, John Aston, I think Rob Paulson, a bunch of guys, but it was fun. It was funny because, you know, when an earthquake, anybody ever been in an earthquake in California? I'm not born there, but it's interesting. You know, you're going, because at first you're going, this is so weird. It's an earthquake. It's not. You know, and it was made like twice as dramatic by the fact that these boom mics are all like this, and they just have their mics, and all of a sudden, all the boom mics in the room went. You know, and Henry Winkler was under that table in a flash. The Fonz was not in the house. But it, you know, so that was kind of fun. Oh, and I can tell you this, she's a very old school Carol Channing, very famous Broadway actress, very famous, bless her heart, she's got to honestly like be close to 100 right now. But she played, she was in, I did a few shows with her, all the Addams Family. She was Grandmama in the Addams Family, and I was Lurch because, you know, I'm so tall. And so she was Grandmama. And also in Chippendale Rescue Rangers, they were doing a takeoff on the African Queen, the classic Humphrey Bogart, Catherine Hepburn movie. And Monterey Jack, my Aussie mouse. Does anybody remember Chippendale Rescue Rangers? Okay. Well, it was the rub was that Monty and it was called Hello Doggy because she was famous on Broadway, Hello Dolly. So it was really funny to play on words. And so she was there, and she showed up, and we're all like really honored and pleased. Oh, this icon, you know.
Journey.
And she looks like an albino Q-tip, by the way. She's it's just a lot of white and silver. And she showed up. And she sits there, and she sits down, and she's got this very tight, hello, there's a public service announcement. Hello, come in, everybody. Yes, by all means. I hope somebody else heard that. Okay, yeah, it's not going down yet. But she's very animated. First of all, she had on she must as well have been wearing tambourines. She had like 14 bracelets. And oh, sweetie, I have to move. It's this way, you know, and she had on this really starched, I don't know what it'd be, linen or something. But it moved and it sounded like, and then the engineer's going, oh, this is great. So we had to come out and he reminded and can you just not move? Oh no, sweetie, I have to move. I gotta move. It's just the way it is. And we're all going, well, there you go. And so we tried again. With all that. Oh, sweetie, mind the ring. Oh gosh, Miss Channing, I'm really sorry. You're really. I'm just picking up all the starch in your outfit and everything. Oh, sweetie, that's no problem. Okay. A bra and 5 pounds of cotton under this one. 5 pounds of cotton under that one. And that's it. And we sat there for 2 hours going, and the engineer, bless his heart, he had brought his own video camera because he wanted to videotape it. I guess his mom was a big fan of hers. And he just went, so what are you going to do? And then, a couple of years later, and it's Carol again, bless her heart, she's good for a story. She would show up, she was grandmama, and her husband would be there. Husband looked just like Thurston Howell. Actually wore one of those, remember Gilligan's Island wore an ascot with a straight face. And grandmama, being the trooper that she is, Miss Broadway or whatever, she had like 2 lines at the beginning of the show and maybe 2 or 3 at the end. And she didn't want to leave the studio. She would sit around there. She'd, oh no, sweetie, I want to stay here. I want to hear everybody else thespian. And so she would, and then she'd sit there and then, then she decides, well, I'll get off the chair and I'll sit on the ground. So now she's laying down. But in the booth, inside the booth, not in the recording, no, and so we're doing our thing. We're going on. John Aston was Gomez, and Nancy Lenore was Morticia and Pat Fraley, and on and on and on. And we're doing our lines in here. Honey, would you want to come in? Is she my line? And no, it wasn't. So yeah, I guess that qualifies as a story. Thanks for asking. Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Hannah.
Who's gonna hit me with that? Okay, well, you got to tell us who you are, though. Who you are and who you really are.
I am Magica Dispel.
Yes, she is.
And in my normal life, I'm Anna.
Oh, come on, you don't have a normal life. You're not fooling us. Hi, Anna.
That's true. Earlier you were talking about how, I guess villains, they kind of always are having fun doing what they do, whereas heroes sometimes do get more serious than villains are. And I was wondering, are villains at all more fun to play than heroes?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, in a way. Yeah.
I wouldn't be Magica Dispel if I didn't.
Yeah, it's possible. I've thought of that too, and while like Hondo Ohnaka, he's just has a good time all the time, and he's not really a villain. it's not like you want to say, Honda, will you hold my wallet? No. You know, there's none of that going around. But I think that bad guys probably have a pretty good time of it. I mean, Captain looked like he was doing pretty well. Of course, Peter could fly, so it's a tough call. But yeah, I think villains are just as much fun to play because, you know, they always get a song, and it's usually a tango. You ever notice that? Like Captain Hook sings a tango, Scar sings a tango, and bad guys sing tangos. I don't know. So you got that going for you. And good guys are stuck with waltzes or something, or, you know. But I don't know. I've always thought that, you know, like Captain Hook had easily as much fun as Peter Pan. But I don't know where that's going. But yeah, I think bad guys are a heck of a lot of fun. You know, and you know, you get to get vanquished. You know, I remember, God, what my Catholic education is coming up now. I remember that they asked me when I was like in 3rd grade, if you could be any character in the Bible, who would you be? And I said Dismas on the cross. Well, he was the thief that Jesus pardoned, like right before he died. And they go, what? Why would you do that? What? Because everybody else was, I would be Solomon. I would be Samson. I would be Jesus' little brother. You know, and I was like, well, I'll be Dismas. What? The guy, yeah, because he played around, fought around, was a good guy, bad guy, whatever, his whole life. And then right before I went, kicked off, Jesus said, here you go. You go to heaven. Yeah! I'm a weasel and a half. Yeah, I know, but you this far away, you made it. So, yeah. So, yeah, how about that? God, that's a hell of an answer, huh? I'm glad you asked. So, did that answer it? Say yes. Good. I can't take me anywhere.
Hi, I'm Adam. And I'm playing the character of Adam.
Yet another dude from the Bible.
Yeah. All right, which is tough because he has no money. It's a very challenging role, playing Adam. My question for you is, if you could be anybody else for an entire day, who would it be and why?
Oh, you mean in the world, you mean? Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good one. Dismas on the no. He's taken. 3rd grade me. That's a good one. Well, does it have to be a day? Because I'm pretty sure if I was like emperor of the world for 5 years, I could fix it, and then I'd give it right back.
I'm not going to argue with you. You can do it for as long as you want.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, emperor of the world for about 5 years. I would fix it and then give it back.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
One of my favorite series of all time is the Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon series. And I really loved the character that you gave to Dr. Robotnik. What were some of your experiences in developing that character? And would you kindly recite your favorite line from the show using your voice?
Oh gosh, well, geez, the thing I liked about him was it's always good. See, this is another thing that's fun about playing a bad guy. It's because you get to feel yourself so full of bravado, and you're the worst thing in the world. Next thing you know, someone pulled down your pants and threw a pie in your face, and you're embarrassed, and it's just great, you know, because everybody likes to see the bad guy get his, you know, and that's part of playing the fun of a bad guy. But I remember thinking of him as because it's so easy to just do screaming and yelling, and you know, and everybody's okay, we get it, okay, you're the bad guy. But I wanted him to be sort of a controlled, seething beneath the surface, like this far away from going nuts, but he never quite did, except when he said, Hedgehog! You know, and it was just that inner world that he had, like, well, I was joking around about it earlier. You took prisoners? Oh, good. Prisoners are great. Because who knows what he did. You know, forced him to play dominoes with him. No, I don't know. But yeah, it wasn't a lot of prep. It was just a lot of, you know, my thing with like that is you always give them what they want, and then throw them a curveball. And sometimes the curveball, you know, that's the pitch they were looking for. Because it's kind of, well, you're the bad guy, you're evil, you're this, you're that, and you go, yeah, okay, you know. But I don't know, spicing it up a little bit, giving him that inner, that eye twitch is makes it a little more interesting. And gosh, what was that one line about Snibbly? There you go again, Snibbly, doing nothing as usual. Or Nibbies, what was it? What was the line about? Gosh, this is terrible. I'm asking you guys. But it's Snibbly. There you go again, doing nothing as usual, something like that. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad you asked. I can't think of the line. But so yeah. No, you're welcome. Hello.
Hi. My name's Tim. I guess I'm kind of your modern white trash link today. I'm a big fan of voice acting. I follow a lot of them. And, you know, a lot of them turn, if they're really good at, like, cult classic kind of things. Like, I'm a big fan of, like, Futurama and stuff like that. But their other stuff kind of blends into obscurity. How does it feel, if you realize this, being a voice actor that's affected probably 2 to 3 generations of people through things like Winnie the Pooh, personally for me, Darkwing Duck, that you've actually kind of shaped a huge group of people and their interests and their morals through the things that you've done? Has that ever, have you ever had like a clarifying moment where,
no pressure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's beautiful, really. I thank God every day. Honestly, it's and it's it's a privilege for me to be because I don't know. I guess I infuse a lot of my own stuff in there, and I hope I do, and I hope it's positive. But it's wonderful because it's I look at it this way: if there's enough junk out there in the world, there's enough grief, there's enough we got plenty of that. So if we can spread a few more grins around and get a few more smiles on a few more faces, it's like reading everybody a bedtime story. It's calms you down, gives you a grin, and if people take away some joy from it, and different characters have, Winnie the Pooh is way up there, and I think it's just it's a privilege. It's a privilege for me, certainly because I joke about it, but it really was the kind of thing that used to get me in trouble, and to be able to turn that around and turn that that little piece of gravel maybe into a pearl, is good, and to encourage others to do that as well. And I'm blessed that I have opportunities to I work with a lot. I work with it. It sounds like I'm doing more than I really do, but I'll call different kids. I mean, about 3 times a week, at least 3 times a week, I'll get to do something for someone's nephew, or a phone message, or an engineer will say, hey Jim, my niece and nephew are crazy about blah blah blah, and they're going to be 4. And next thing you know, Pooh and Tigger are wishing them happy birthday, and at Christmas and Hanukkah, Pooh has sung the dreidel song, different things like this, and so I think being able to spread those kind of grins around it's a blessing. I take it as an honor and a privilege, and I always say that I take my work seriously, but not myself seriously, and that's kind of my approach, so thanks.
Unfortunately, we just have about enough time for another 2 questions, so I'm sorry, so there's 2 questions. We'll try for 3. We'll try.
He's got a Pooh Bear.
Hi, I'm Lexi. I just have a question. Whenever you play a character, do you become the character? I know a lot of actors do that, and I know it's probably harder since they're mostly animated to get into the whole entire mindset.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. I didn't even know I was doing this, but yeah, you do get into it. You get into it in more ways than one, because it's all about I've seen. If you showed me a picture of me, I usually stand. When I'm recording. And if you showed a picture of me just standing at a microphone, I'd go, oh, that's Tigger. Or that's Darkwing, or that's, or like this is the movie trailer guy in a world where blah, 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 but Brittany turned into,
something I fill the blank.
For some reason, my hands are piled on my head. I don't know why. And if I'm singing, then that's going to be real obvious. So I think body language goes along with the language. So yeah, you pulls it out of you, gets it in you, something. Spills it on you. Hello.
Hi, my name is Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
I was just wondering if you have a current voice actor that you admire?
Oh gosh, kind of all of them. You know, there's so, I mean, my gosh, it's just like a list of my buddies, my friends. James Arnold Taylor, magnificent. Jeff Bennett, Rob Paulson. Just, I mean, you know, literally too many to mention. You know, but yeah, it beats heavy lifting. So I admire you. Get here, my friend.
Hello, I'm Sean.
Hey,
clearly I don't have to say how much you shaped my childhood. Clearly. So thank you.
Sing it with me. Deep in the 100-acre woods where Christopher Robin lived.
I did have a question. When Mole just kind of suddenly got shoved back down his mole and never spoke again. Why does he never?
Are you talking about Gopher?
Gopher, yes.
Gopher.
I said Mole.
Mole.
Wow.
I'm furious. No. Well, you know, Gopher, you know, they joke about when they make those 3 shorts like in the early 60s, which, you know, that wasn't me, I was in the audience, but it was the joke, if you recall the very, very, very first one, Gopher popped up and he said something like, well, if you want me, call me, I'm not in the book. And what that sounded like to everybody was that he if you want a hold dog, you have to call me from the yellow pages, but I'm not in the book, so call me direct or whatever. But he wasn't in the A.A. Milne book. He literally wasn't in the Winnie the Pooh book written in the 20s. And so that's probably why he didn't surface in the rest of the manifestations of it. I guess. That's what I thought, right? Yeah, you know, he wasn't in the classic illustrations, and he literally wasn't in the book, so he literally. Although he was in the very first series we did, the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. He was in that. Michael Goff, he was superb, and he would always stop and get that. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. But so that's why I think. And I won't tell him that you called him old. I'm just kidding.